art books. Either you have them or you don't, and if you don't, you suck. Alright, in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 books every artist should have. These are books that throughout my art career have really helped me to grow and get better, and some that I just... Nope, they all did that. We're gonna start off, we're gonna jump right in, but before we do, you should check out our Discord channel where you're able to post your art, connect with other artists. We have randomized bots that can create prompts for you, and you can check out my new courses like the ones on my website that'll be launching soon. So let's go ahead and get started. First one is actually 2 booty holes. It's anatomy books. So if you're a character artist, you probably need human anatomy more than the other, or if you're gonna do creature design like I do, you'll want an animal one. It's always good to have both. Number 5 is really just both of these combined. Ones that I really like personally are Anatomy for the Artist by Jenö Barcsay. I think that's how you say his name. And it just goes really well into detail about different aspects of the human body from an artist's perspective, musculature, skeletal structure, as well as, you know, gesture, all that sort of stuff. And I think is a great resource for any artist to have. Unless you're in a position where you're not going to be drawing any people ever, which is extremely unlikely, I would recommend getting this book. The other one is Animal Anatomy for Artists by Eliot Goldfinger. This book is awesome, and I'm pretty sure that I've copied down almost every single drawing in this book in studying animal anatomy. So this is another one that I would put at the top of the list. Both of these I think you can find on Amazon. This one is a bit harder to find, but both of them are excellent resources. It doesn't even have to be these 2, but just some sort of anatomy reference. If you don't have one, stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself you don't need to draw people. Damn it. Stop telling yourself you don't need to know how to draw people, because you do. Next one on the list is sort of a follow-up from these 2. And this is a book that I just absolutely love, and it is the Masters of Anatomy book, which this one is specifically called Anatomy, Action Poses, and Fighting Poses. This thing is freaking awesome, as are all of the books for Masters of Anatomy. They just create these huge catalogs of sketches and poses that you can use to copy down, draw yourself, use for reference. They're fantastic. This is, I mean, thousands and thousands of drawings from everything from just base T-pose models to every action pose you can think of. Their other books include one that's really cool that shows different characters. It's like characters from Robin Hood drawn in a bunch of different artist styles. Excuse me. It's really cool, but any of their books I recommend. This one especially, their big, huge, chonky one that's, I believe, 4 of their books actually combined. This thing is super useful, and I would definitely recommend, especially if you're a beginner artist, you want to do comic books or concept art, any of those things. It just gives you a huge plethora of really interesting dynamic poses to draw from. The next book on the list is Color and Light by James Gurney. This, if you're doing any sort of painting, is an absolute must-have. James Gurney is a master artist. He's the one who created Dinotopia, and just overall is a fantastic artist, and he has been gracious enough to put all of his knowledge in a wonderful book. His other book, Imaginative Realism, is also good. I didn't include it because if, I don't know, for some reason you're not doing fantasy stuff, maybe it's not as applicable, but this should be applicable to pretty much every artist who is doing painting. It covers everything you could ever need to know, from different color palettes, different lighting situations, composition, hair, highlights, all sorts of different stuff. And this book is extremely useful, and I would definitely not be where I am as a painter today without this book. In fact, if you already have this book, I'd recommend taking another flip through, look at it again. I do that myself quite often because honestly, there's so much in here to learn and digest that just looking through it once doesn't cut it. So that would be number 3 on my list, is Light and Color. Damn it. Color and Light by James Gurney. Must have. Book 4. You put like helicopter music in and like like shouting like The War of Art. Think of a line. Hit the deck! Everyone knows that real art is real war. If you want to be an artist, you gotta go to war. That being said, I'm joking, kind of. This book is awesome. It's The War of Art, written by Steven Pressfield, and this book is amazing. It's all about helping you overcome what he calls resistance, or really artist block, anything that gets in your path from helping you reach those creative goals that you always wanted to achieve. This book is a very short read. It's very simple and easy to get through, but it is just bursting at the seams with really great advice and a lot of tips on how to take yourself from being an amateur to a professional, which I think for a lot of us is sort of a goal, a dream we've had for a long time, but never really knew where to go or how to get there. Well, this is all about changing your mindset to view yourself as a professional and really take what you're doing seriously. It does have some parts where if you're not maybe more into esoteric stuff or like religious stuff, the last section of the book gets a little bit, I guess for lack of a better term, woo. If you're like me and you're not maybe super into that stuff, I just don't see that as a problem. Instead, I just like to look at it and say, okay, well, clearly there's something that this guy found value in writing this, and the reason why it might be valuable doesn't have to be the same reason for me. So maybe if I don't believe in the muse or angels helping me draw, I can instead look at it and be like, well, what is it that he's getting out of this, and how can I utilize the same value out of that same aspect? So either way though, this book is really awesome and is going to kick your butt into high gear and make you take your work a lot more seriously. The last one on our list for 5 books every artist should own, my sketchbook. My personal sketchbook. You need to own this. Bids are starting at $10,000 and going from there. Just kidding. Any sketchbook. It doesn't have to be mine. In fact, it shouldn't be mine. It should be your sketchbook. A blank one, preferably, but not for long. Draw on it. It doesn't even have to be physical, but that's good if you're starting out. I, these days, rarely draw on my sketchbook anymore. I'm mostly sketching on my iPad. Whether it's your iPad or a paper book, having a sketchbook is super, super important. Having somewhere where you can just create your own art and get your ideas out on paper without having to worry if it's a finished final piece that you're gonna post online, where you can just sort of explore your creativity, throw your ideas out there and see what splats on the page. Sticks is just really, really important. I think probably the vast majority of growth for a lot of artists who take art seriously come from sketching in their sketchbook, where they don't have to be worried about making a mistake or drawing something that looks just stupid because they're using it to learn and experiment. And experimenting is really one of the most valuable things you can do to grow as an artist, because it helps you see way quicker than just trying to make everything perfect what works and what doesn't. So that is the last and most important one, a sketchbook. If you don't have one, or if you do have one and you haven't been drawing in it, get back to it. It's not too late to start. There's always time to get back into it and start improving your art. So these are 5 books that I think every artist should own. And if you disagree with me, that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong, but you can still tell me about it in the comments, and I will read every single one of those precious, precious comments. And if you agree with me or have some other suggestions of books you think every artist should own, I actually do really want to know about it, because, I mean, I'm an artist, and if I don't own that book, maybe I'm not going to be able to be an artist that's very good because I don't have the book you suggested. So put it in the comments, and if you like this video, you want to see more like it, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell little icon there, the little ding-a-linger, so that you can get notifications. And don't forget, kids, remember to draw your vegetables. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.